यार पोर्सिलेन वाला तो ओपन करो ना। लुकमान
स्क्रीन शेयर हुई नहीं
नहीं
तेरे
हुई
वाली
है,
स्लाइड
मतलब
ओपन
क्लिक कर
की है ना
दोबारा।
जी स्लाइड ओपन है आपकी।
कितने नजर अब
स्लाइड
आ
ओपन
गई है।
किया
मेरे नेट पे कुछ Assalamu alaikum, my name is Naeem. Today my topic is porcelain. Firstly, we discuss what is ceramic. Ceramic, ये हमने सारा कुछ पढ़ा हुआ, तो मैं इसको वैसे शॉर्ट ही करूंगा और आपको समझ तो पहले ये सारा को ceramic क्या होता है सारा कुछ। Ceramic is a material that is neither metallic nor organic. It may be crystalline, glassy, or both crystalline and glassy. Ceramics are typically hard and chemically non-reactive and can be formed or densified with heat. Ceramics are more than pottery and dishes. Clay, bricks, tiles, glass, and cement are probably the best known examples. Ceramic materials are Ceramics are more than pottery and dishes. Clay, bricks, tiles, glass, and cement are probably the best known examples. Ceramic materials are used in electronics because depending on their composition, they may be semiconducting, superconducting, ferroelectric, or an insulator. Luqman, next ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ। Introduction, I will discuss about introduction of porcelain is a ceramic material made by heating materials generally including clay in the form of kaolin in a kiln to temperature between 1200 and 1400 Celsius. The composition of porcelain is highly variable, but the clay mineral kaolinite is often raw material. Other raw materials can include feldspar, ball clay, glass, bone ash, steatite, quartz, pitonsite, and alabasters. Properties of porcelain: low permeability, strength, hardness, toughness, whiteness, translucency, resonance, high resistance to chemical attack and thermal shock. Types: porcelain can be divided into three main categories: hard paste, soft paste, and bone china, depending on the composition of the paste, the material used to form the body of a porcelain object, and the firing conditions. Hard paste porcelain, soft paste porcelain, and bone china porcelain. Hard paste porcelain. What is hard paste porcelain? They were formed from a paste composed of kaolin and alabaster and fired at temperature up to 1400 Celsius in a wood-fired kiln, producing a porcelain of great hardness, translucency, and strength. Later, the composition of the
जी
mission
एक्सक्यूज
hard.
मी, आप लोग रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके
Later, हमने ये रिकॉर्डिंग पे वैसे भी लगी हुई है दूसरी जूम वाले. Later, the composition of the mission and hard paste was changed, and the alabaster was replaced by feldspar and quartz, allowing the piece to be fired at lower temperatures. Kaolinite, feldspar, and quartz are other forms of silica continue to provide the basic ingredients for most continental European hard paste porcelains. ये हम उसकी पिक्चर्स भी देख सकते हैं नीचे जो बनी हुई हैं पोर्सलेन की एग्जांपल्स थी. Soft paste porcelain. These are prepared by using mixture of clay and ground up glass free to produce soft paste porcelain. Or soft stone and lime were known to have been included in these compositions. These wares were not yet actual porcelain wares as they were not hard and vertified by firing kaolin clay at high temperatures. As these early formulations suffered from high pyroclastic deformation or slumping in the kiln at raised temperature, they were uneconomic to produce and of low quality. Soft paste porcelains are fired at lower temperatures. than hard paste porcelain. Therefore, these are in general less than hard paste porcelains. Bone china. Bone china is a type of soft paste porcelain that is composed of bone ash and feldspathic material and kaolin. It has been defined as ware with a translucent body containing a minimum of 30% of phosphate derived from animal bone and calculated calcium phosphate. And, and bone china is known for its high levels of whiteness and translucency and very high mechanical strength and chip resistance. Its higher strength allows it to be produced in thinner cross sections than other types of porcelain. Electric insulating material. Porcelain is an excellent insulator for use at high voltages, especially in outdoor applications. Examples are terminals for high voltage cables. They were used for and bushings of power transformers and the insulation of high frequency antennas and many other components. And they porcelain also used for building materials. In building materials, porcelain can be used as a building material, usually in the form of tiles or large rectangular panels. Modern porcelain tiles are generally produced to a number of recognized international standards and definitions. More recent noteworthy examples include the Deccan buildings in Brisbane, California, and the Gulf buildings in Houston, Texas, which, when constructed in 1929, had a 70-foot long, 21-meter porcelain logo on its exterior. And the porcelain is also some porcelain is used for bathroom fittings because of its durability, inability to rust, and non-porous natural. Porcelain has an absorption rate of less than 5%. Glazed porcelain has been in use for personal hygiene since at least the third quarter of the 17th century. However, bathtubs are not made of porcelain, but of so-called porcelain enamel on a metal base, usually of cast iron. It is not porcelain, but a form of glass base, vitreous enable. Thank you so much for listening.
ओके किसी का क्वेश्चन है अन से? लिसनर्स बताएं कितने लोग बैठे हुए हैं? अंश ने जितनी प्रेजेंटेशन अभी दी है आप लोगों को, तो कोई क्वेश्चन है रिलेटेड टू पोर्सलेन?
किसी को ना समझ आए तो पर्सनली पूछ सकता है, इधर नहीं भी पूछना चाहता था।
नेक्स्ट कौन है?
मैम लुकमान भाई हैं, वो देंगे।
ओके
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dental porcelain. My name is Muhammad Luqman and my roll number is 17030 and my presentation topic is porcelain. First of all, Anas has been explained about porcelain and now I will explain about his history and the use of porcelain in dentals. History of porcelain. First of all, Oriental porcelain. हम ओरिएंटल पोर्सिलिन को चाइनीज पोर्सिलिन भी कह सकते हैं. द चाइनीज प्रोबेबली मेड द फर्स्ट ट्रू पोर्सिलिन ड्यूरिंग द टैंग डायनेस्टी 1601 and 907. मतलब जो सबसे पहले जो ट्रूली पोर्सिलिन था चाइना में वो दरियाफ्त हुआ टैंग के दौर हुकूमत में जो 618 से 907 तक था. देन ड्यूरिंग द सोंग डायनेस्टी 960-1279 Chinese emperors started royal factories to produce porcelain for their places. इसके बाद चाइना ने अपने प्लेसेस के लिए रॉयल फैक्ट्रीज बनाना शुरू कर दी जिसमें वो पोर्सिलिन तैयार करते. Since the 13th, the most Chinese porcelain has been made in the city of Jinhezen. The next is European porcelain. As early as the 1100, traders brought Chinese porcelain to Europe. 1100 में where it became greatly admired. जहाँ पर वो बहुत ज़्यादा मशहूर हो गई जब उसको यूरोप में लाया गया. However, it was so rare and expensive that only wealthy people could afford it. ये बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव थी और सिर्फ दौलतमंद लोग ही अफोर्ड कर सकते थे. By the 17th, porcelain manufactured in many parts of Europe. इसके बाद यूरोप के मुख्तलिफ हिस्सों में ये तैयार होना शुरू हो गई. Was starting to compete with Chinese porcelain. और इसने चाइनीज पोर्सिलिन के साथ compete करना शुरू कर दिया. France, Germany, Italy, and England became. The next is French porcelain. France became famous during the 17th as the leading producers of soft paste porcelain. France ने soft paste porcelain तैयार करना शुरू कर दी. The first factories were established. जो सबसे पहली फैक्ट्री थी वो कायम हुई at Rouen, St. Cloud, Lille, and Chantilly. Beginning in 1771, a hard paste porcelain industry developed near Limoges, where kaolin deposits had been discovered. The next is German porcelain. A German chemist named Johann Friedrich Böttger discovered the secrets of making hard paste porcelain in 1708 or 1709. उसके बाद जर्मन केमिस्ट जॉन बॉटगर था जिसने एक सीक्रेट बताया कि हम हार्ड पेस्ट पोर्सिलिन को किस तरह तैयार कर सकते हैं. दिस डिस्कवरी लेड टू द एस्टेब्लिशमेंट इन मेसन इन 1710 और बाद में 1710 में मेसन में एक पोर्सिलिन फैक्ट्री कायम की गई. मेसन पोर्सिलिन इज समटाइम्स कॉल्ड ड्रेसडन. इसको बाज़ का ड्रेसडन भी बोला जाता है बिकॉज बोटकर फर्स्ट वर्क नियर द सिटी. उसने सबसे पहले ड्रेसडन सिटी के पास काम किया जिसकी वजह से उसको ड्रेसडन बोला जाता है. For nearly a century, it surpassed in quality all other hard paste porcelain made in Europe. The next is English porcelain and modern porcelain. English porcelain. England is well known as the center for the production of bone china. England bone china की production के लिए बहुत मशहूर है. Before the invention of bone china, in bone china की इजाज़त से पहले, the England manufactured fine soft paste porcelain at Chelsea. England ने चेल्सिया के मकाम पर सॉफ्ट पेस्ट पोर्सिलिन तैयार की. बो एट चेल्सिया, बो एंड डर्बी. मोस्ट ऑफ दिस इंग्लिश पोर्सिलिन वाज स्टाइल्ड आफ्टर ओरिएंटल एंड कॉन्टिनेंटल डिजाइन. द नेक्स्ट इज मॉडर्न पोर्सिलिन. Technical advanced enable the porcelain industry to produce porcelain in large quantity. Today, extensive porcelain making is carried out in the United States, Europe, and Japan. Some notable examples of fine contemporary porcelain are American, Linux, Jory, Teak. The more restrictive term porcelain refers to a specific compositional range of ceramic material composed of kaolin, silica, and feldspar and fired at high temperature. पोर्सिलिन में जो मुख्तलिफ मटीरियल्स वगैरह होते हैं उनमें कॉलिन, सिलिका, फेल्डस्पार आते हैं जिनको हाई टेम्परेचर पर गर्म किया जाता है. फाइड. डेंटल ceramics for metallic ceramic restoration belongs to this compositional range and are commonly referred to as dental porcelain. और जो डेंटल ceramic और मेटल ceramic है उसकी जो कंपोजिशन है वो भी इस तरह है जिसको हम डेंटल पोर्सिलिन भी कह सकते हैं. What are the advantages and disadvantages of dental porcelain? Biocompatible as it is chemical inert.